Oh, yeah, it's about that time again. Y'all know who I am. I'm that dude from Columbia, South Carolina. They call him Drummer 1980. I hope you're having a good day today. And if that's not the case, ask yourself why. Because after all, remember this one vital thing. Happiness is an inside job. And it will always be an internal affair. Guys, I'm back today again with my man TBA on the radar. And he's talking about Lamont Hill, Piers Morgan, and the Fresh and Misfit, and they two other women on the panel. Guys, we are going to discuss the Shiloh Hendrick incident
tonight on the Black Channel. Well, folks, for those of you who aren't aware, meet Shiloh Hendricks.
Your fucking business.
It is my business. You call him an... Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again?
Fuck you, Nick.
Alright, that's what you say.
You're fucking digging into people's shit, you dumb fuck.
Nobody digging into your shit.
A little fucking kid just did, you dumbass.
That little kid, you call him a little child?
What if he acts like one? It's gonna...
Are you about to hit him? You're chasing him?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5 years old the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act.
That's what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
All right, folks. Well, that was how it started. You figure that's pretty cut and dry as far as that's concerned.
Now, guys, you see what we're dealing with, right? So I just wanted to play that just for the context. Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes. All right, let's go.
Piers Morgan, people, Piers Morgan. Once again, this is why you all trust me as the anchor man of the new black media, because I'm willing to sit through this garbage that nobody else is. I'm willing to trudge through this sewage to go ahead and bring you back the news and the information that you absolutely have to have, the 720 degrees of analysis you receive nowhere else. And this confirms it yet again. Yes, I watched the whole damn thing. I sent this out there and it's blown up ever since. And I guess I have the ignominious, look it up. I guess I have the questioning and slightly embarrassing distinction of being the person who did that. So they had a panel. They had on Marc Lamont Hill. They had on Myron from Fresh and Misfit. They had on two white women, one of them in particular, white nationalist. You know, she's channeling her inner Jared Taylor was what she was doing. So Piers Morgan talked to them there for a minute. He talked to them. And of course, you know, when you bring on Myron, of course, it's going to devolve into coonery and buffoonery. Marc Lamont Hill doesn't do very good at these things. He never has. He never has, and he just can't. But this time he decided to not depend on his own knowledge. He decided to channel his inner FBA. He's decided to channel his inner Friedman. And boy, it worked out for him way better than he possibly thought it could have. He's going to have to start rethinking all these moist LGBT affectations. That didn't work. He channeled a little bit of us, and it was a knockout on first contact, right up until he snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. So fair use, Piers Morgan, by the way. Fair use, by the way, here. I'm stepping on everybody's toes tonight. But listen to this exchange right here that Piers is going to be. He kind of calls out Myron a little bit, but take a look where this goes.
Had to have BLM and liberalism shoved down our throats, and quite frankly, we're all tired of it.
Right, but just to be clear, you would have no problem with one member of this panel openly saying she uses the N-word at black people with impunity and is proud of being a racist. You have no problem with that?
My worldview on the protection of the First Amendment and freedom of speech overrides my personal feelings. She has the right to say
that's fine. You can support the First Amendment, but you can also have a personal view about what she said.
My feelings are irrelevant. The Constitution is the Constitution. That's what matters.
Oh, that's fascinating. Hold on. So when it comes to chastising Black Americans about their behavior, about calling white people crackers, as you say, about their moral claims, about the racist system, you can levy a judgment against Black Americans for all the things they do. But when it comes to this woman saying the N-word, and this other woman endorsing it and saying that she herself uses the N-word, now all of a sudden we can only talk about the Constitution and the legal right. We can't offer any moral judgment against it. That's disingenuous. And it's as the only Black American up here, that's quite frustrating to hear.
Here's the thing. 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 He
Did y'all hear that?
What?
Please.
What?
Oh, did y'all hear that? Oh, man. Marc Lamont Hill said, I need some credentials. Marc Lamont Hill said, I need some credentials. I need to have some real bona fide credentials to speak. Oh, he came over here with that little limp wrist and like Lil Nas X. Move y'all out the way. Oh, man. Y'all thought y'all had heard and seen everything, didn't you? You didn't think 2025 had any more surprises in store for you.
Well. Marc Lamont Hill found a backbone. Wow, that's very interesting. I'm going to have a lot to say about him later on down in this video in my commentary. But guys, let me just point out a few things here. You see the lapdog sitting on the panel, right? Fresh and misfit, Myron Gaines, right? You hear his talking points talking about BLM and all that. See, he's trying to argue in bad faith. He's trying to debate in bad faith. That's a straw man argument because we understand BLM was nothing but controlled opposition. It was funded by certain people. It's controlled opposition. None of us rock with no BLM. So what is he talking about? It's a straw man argument. It's a red herring, guys. Don't be fooled by these stupid talking points because none of us, and I repeat, none of us rock with no BLM. The slogan is cool, but I'm talking about the organization itself. Where did the money go? And they try to make the face of it, these 3 black lesbians, they only got like 9 or 10 million. Where did the other 90 million go? Okay, then. So if you can't answer these questions, get off the BLM train, all right? Myron Gaines is shameless. This dude lay in bed with men, white supremacist males, more than one way, might I add. Literally. The guy has pictures with him hugged up, laying in the bed. That's what they do. He always got his mouth on black American women, calling them ghetto and all this stuff. You should be more concerned about your women in your homeland, rolling around in camel dung, in camel urine, and cow urine and everything else, bathing in it. Some type of practice where they put their face down in a pile full of feces from a beast, an animal. You should be worrying about that. But instead, you over here trying to swing on our women. No. Let us be the progenitors of that. Let us do that. You have no right. Nobody don't respect you enough. The only thing that you are used for is just for a mouthpiece. And let me say this before I go to the next clip. Any one of y'all, and I'm looking in the camera, any one of y'all, male or female, if you listening to Myron Gaines, something wrong with you. I'm talking about black folks, especially FBAs, because everybody else, whatever, because that's their culture. I'm talking about foundational black American males or females. If you partake in Fresh and Fit, I question you. Not only do I question you, but I'm going to put a label on you. You assemble to the highest degree. You embody self-hate. And you don't have no place amongst us. You are irredeemable. Stay over there. When everything hit the fan, don't come back talking about, well, I knew something was wrong. You see what this dude does day in, day out. You seen the clips of what he do. He never have nothing good to say about black folks. I'm talking about FBAs. He never have anything positive to say. He's always talking about the bottom of our society.
You figured Trump we reached the mountaintop. It's all downhill from here. Oh, wait a minute. Got one more coming for you. Oh, boy, y'all are wondering, is this invasion of the snatchers? What? Did somebody kidnap Marc Lamont Hill? You know, you're waiting for me or Dr. Umar Johnson, like pull on the face and rip off the mask and, I got you, it's us. You thought you had Mark Lamont Hill. We snuck up in here. You like Mission Impossible. You're thinking it's going to be like that kind of moment. You know, just he's going to reach across his face and then peel off this mask. And you figure it's going to be Jason sitting there. No. It ain't that, but man, just in case you were wondering. Now, by the way, I want to let that play for just a little bit beyond that, just so you can hear what the reaction was to it.
Saying the N-word, and this other woman endorsing it and saying that she herself uses the N-word. Now, all of a sudden, we can only talk about the Constitution and the legal right. We can't offer any moral judgment against it. That's disingenuous. And it's as the only Black American up here, that's quite frustrating to hear.
Here's the thing. If you want to be soft and get offended by that, that's your fucking problem, not mine.
Let me ask Ricky.
We're not even.
Let me ask Ricky.
This isn't about being soft any more than when you were desperately saving.
Okay, well, Mark is fumbling over his words there, Mark. So he already rattled you there. You got to be ready for that. If you sit up there and throw verbal jabs, you got to be ready to come back with the hook. You got to be ready to come back with the cross. You can't sit up there and just say that and then you're groping for words. It doesn't work that way, Mark. It doesn't work that way. You're not ready. You're not ready. Not ready for it. But once again here, just in case you thought that was all, no, it goes even further than that. A little bit late, well, not a little bit later, a lot later in the program. It comes back around again. Once again here, Piers, fair use for you, Piers, buddy, fair use. They come back in the program here. Let me go a little bit ahead of that because Mark Lamont Hill's trying to talk. Let me go a little bit further here.
All right, Mark Lamont Hill, your last words on this.
This repeated use of the word, I think, first of all, I wouldn't just register that as offensive, particularly someone who doesn't identify as a member of that community and who is not, right? I think that's incredibly
I'm the definition of African American. I'm the definition of African American.
And troublesome. And as a Sudanese American or an outsider who's using African American in a very technical term, the same way that Elon Musk is an African American, I think it is a bit disingenuous. But the bigger issue here, I think, is that, you know, this idea of equating of one side to the other side often loses track of this issue of power. To use this example, when Black people stand up and say, hey, let's build our own stuff. Hey, let's have a Black power movement. That is not the same as a white power. I'll let you speak uninterrupted. Let me finish, please, my Sudanese brother.
Y'all see how Mark keeps bringing up Sudanese? You're not Black American. You notice how Mark keep doing that? When did Mark start doing this, y'all? When did Mark start delineating? Someone explain to me, when did Mark start delineating? When did he start talking like this, y'all? When did he start making this a point? When did Mark start doing this? We see you, messy Mark. We see you.
No, I thought it was just on the internet. It's spreading abroad to everybody. Even in movies, entertainment, on Piers Morgan, it's everywhere. So we just debunked that. It's just on the internet. No, it's everywhere. It's spreading. It's disseminating amongst the masses. And that was the whole purpose of it. To show a clear distinction between FBAs, freemen, Black Americans, that came from chattel slavery from everybody else. Everybody else delineate and have a distinctive group. Nobody have a problem with it. But when we do it, because we the salt of the earth, if you know anything, we the salt. Salt give everything the flavor. And you notice the lapdog is the one doing the most talking, right? I'm an African American. That's why we delineate, guys. Did you hear this Sudanese Count Dracula? Well, I'm African American. And technically, he is. That's why we had to cut the umbilical cord, guys, because of that. Then he have the nerve to tell me Elon Musk is African American. And technically, he's correct because he's from South Africa. He's a Boer. Yes, he's right. So that's why we have to come up with certain terms to identify ourselves, something that's Trump type that nobody else can co-op. See, nobody can co-op that because they haven't shared the same experience. The label identify your experience.
We just couldn't help but notice, hey, bro, you don't really talk like that much.
White power. I'll let you speak uninterrupted. Let me finish, please, my Sudanese brother. So when a black person says, hey, let's preserve our culture, I have no problem with Italians or Irish people or anyone else saying, let's preserve our culture. But when we don't talk about ethnicity, but actual race, when white people say, let's preserve whiteness, it's an exclusionary practice. It's about preserving laws and practices and tactics that do harm to other people. A black power movement was about opening stores and building businesses. A white power movement was a white power. That's the giga. A white power movement was about something very, 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 very different. A white power movement included lynchings and included Ku Klux Klan, etc. So let's not pretend that these are opposite sides of the same coin. When white people say, let's save our country, even using the language of our country, when black people built this thing, when you say that, you're talking about forcing people out of the country. You're talking about laws that discriminate. You're talking about doing harm to people. Let's not pretend these are the same thing. Just like these GoFundMe campaigns are not the same thing. I'm okay if everybody gets out of the GoFundMe industrial complex. I'd love that. But let's not pretend that supporting someone for a fair trial is the same thing as supporting a grown white woman berating and calling the N-word to a 5-year-old autistic black child. And the fact that everyone in here can't be unanimous in condemning that says exactly how they're not the same.
I totally agree. I'm going to go to Lily Gaddis and just ask you one more time. I mean, you've been so unashamedly proud of being a racist today. Proud of...
Notice this, and I'm going to say this in no uncertain terms. If you put Lamont here against Myron Gaines, Lamont Hill will wash Myron Gaines. And he talking about he want to debate, talking about Tariq Nasheed or somebody. He can't even handle Lamont Hill. You know he can't handle Jason. He can't even handle Lamont Hill. God almighty. And what he said is 100% factual. Now, I don't want people to get lost talking about the KKK. No, we ain't doing that because everybody want to focus on just that. But no, it was all of them because everybody didn't put on no capes and no handkerchief heads. No sheiks. Nuh-uh. It was more than just them. I have been saying this for a long time as well. You can go and check in my archives of my videos. When you say black power, that doesn't include hurting, harming no other group. Whenever you say white power, some rope gonna come out for some way. Somebody gonna die. Somebody gonna be terrorized. A genocide will follow shortly thereafter. Did you hear me? That's the difference. Poison people of food. Make laws. Kangaroo courts. Injustice. Redlining. Marginalizing. That's what white power is. I ain't never heard of no black people want to go to Ireland and just take over and subjugate the people. And then whenever the people say something, oh no, it's you racist. That's the most stupid and asinine thing that I have ever heard in my life. White power and black power is not in the same universe. White power is a evil genius system. It's evil genius. I give him credit for that, but it's evil. But family, Marc Lamont Hill was 100% correct in his assessment. All right?
So y'all, Marc Lamont Hill is trying to channel his inner FBA, which, by the way, I'm like, Mark, you've had some shaky credentials in that. Mark has kind of had some shaky credentials in that department. So to see this happen all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, man. Where did this come from? Where did this come from, y'all? It's like, well, I mean, is this the same person? Oh, we got to check the paperwork. We got to check the paperwork. We must check the paperwork. It's absolutely essential that we check the paperwork now. No false flagging will be allowed, but we got to check the paperwork. All right, folks. Mark tried to channel masculinity through this interview, through this panel. He was doing all right up until here. Mark was actually able to hold the moistness at bay for almost an hour, right up until he got here, but then he couldn't contain it anymore. Oh, y'all, his G-string got to twitching, and off he goes on the deep end. But not before he gets in one more jab, by the way.
Using the N-word whenever you feel like it. You've had a bit of time to think about this. Is that how you want people to leave this panel debate? With thinking of you as a disgusting racist?
I don't really
really care what people think about me. As long as you care about what people think about you, you have no power and you lose your country. What I care about is freedom of speech. And if you're not allowed to say the most offensive things in this country, you do not have freedom of speech. I don't care what anybody says. So that's the main crux of this situation. That's what I care about with this situation. It is, we have lived for far too long in a country where you can have your life destroyed. And people say, oh, she doesn't need this money. Her life's destroyed, by the way. She'll never be able to get another job. She's got children to have to support. And I don't want to live in a country where you can say an inappropriate, rude thing, which, by the way, Black people can say things to white people all the time and they never get canceled. There's no backlashing about this. I want to live.
She never names who that is. These mythical Black people who can just talk to white folk however they want to. This mystical, magical, phony Black equivalent. They never give a single example of who these mythical Black folk are talking crazy to white people. They never show it. They just claim it exists. And, oh, well, this just soon exists. Okay. Without one scintilla of evidence. Well, I'm white and I said it.
In a country where people are allowed to say what they want unashamedly. And you will
well, go
not
on, then say it. Say
you
the
will
M-
not have
go on,
free
say the M word. Go on.
No.
You
don't want you to invite this woman to say a racially harmful term in front of me because I'm the only on here. So if she says it, I'm the victim of it. So please don't invite her for ratings to call me the N-word. That's basically what it's going to be. There's a bunch of white people up here. One Uncle Tom on the left here, and to ask her to say the N-word while I'm here is ridiculous. You would not sit here with a Jewish person and say, please use a Jewish slur in front of this Jewish. It's ridiculous. I understand.
So Myron got real upset when he said that. Oh, Myron got upset, y'all. Myron got upset. But then Marc Lamont Hill, I'm like, Piers, cut his mic, cut his feed. Y'all see what happened. I mean, he just spazzed all the hell the way out. Mark for the first time in his deficient life, he was actually doing pretty good when he channeled his inner Jason Black. When he doing that, he was actually, for the first time ever on a panel, he wasn't a complete embarrassment to men, maxi pads, and Fisher-Price toys. He was finally not a total embarrassment across the board. And then literally within the last 60 seconds of the program, he flies off the rails and goes into this monumental temper tantrum, this epic meltdown in front of the world. It was embarrassing. It was shameful. He needs a bib and a diaper is what he needs. Piers Morgan almost had the chick. If we could have got her to go ahead and say that would have been great and wonderful. Marc Lamont Hill spazzes out every couple of months. This is exposing the white supremacists across the board, making sure they can't walk these things backwards. That's what the hell we're looking for. That's what we need. So, of course, Mark had to jump in and play Black Savior. Of course, he had to do that. He had to jump in and play Black Savior. So it's so terrible. I'm just having a terrible time right there. So it's always got to be about Mark.
Because you would not sit here with a Jewish person and say, please use a Jewish slur in front of this Jewish. It's ridiculous. I understand you don't have any bad intent, Piers. I understand what you're trying to do. But we already know she's racist. And I don't want to invite
Mark, this is why we don't let you represent us. This is why you can't do it, Mark. Don't use our words. Don't use our phrases. Don't try to signify on our side of the fence with that janky ass paperwork you got. Hey, bro, you can't. This right here is the reason you can't do it. You ain't got the heart. You ain't got the spirit. If white supremacists can get you this riled up and this completely spiraling out of control like that, brother, you ain't built like us. You're not built like us. You can't carry the mantle of Black manhood, much less Black society. You can't carry that. It's too heavy for you. It's too big for you, too broad for you, too heavy for you. You don't have what it takes to be able to lift this load, much less carry it. You can't do it. You're not qualified. The females wouldn't have done this. This metrosexual LGBT knockoff stuff you're doing, the females wouldn't have responded and spiraled like this, dude. The chicks wouldn't have spazzed like this. And this is also what I mean by you get Negroes out here, they get in front of white folk and they start becoming subservient children. That's why Piers Morgan brought him on, because that's what Marc does. So he sees some white folk and he's got to sit up here and bow and scrape and beg. This is why you can't represent us, Marc. This is why you have no credibility in the field. You have no credibility on the street, because this is what you are. That ain't us. That ain't us. We cut completely different from you. Completely different. Never let him see you sweat. He's in front of at least one white supremacist, maybe two on that panel. Bro, you ain't supposed to be sitting up there melting down like this. You're not supposed to be melting down like this. So this is why we say don't ever come back out trying to represent us again. You sit in the back in the high chair. You sit in the kiddie car. That's where you belong, Marc. You attempted to transition from puberty to adulthood. It was an abysmal failure. Give it up.
Well, guys, I just let that play through because I wanted y'all to hear the whole thing in its context, all right? But I have to agree with GBA, even though Marc Lamont here, what he was saying was truthful, but the way he flew off the handle is what everybody gonna remember. It's not what he was saying or his message of what he was trying to put forth. It is the way that he comported himself. He flew off the handle. He shouldn't have got routed like that, because he did do a good job, guys. I got to give it to him, even though I have my gripes with him now, because we didn't forget about what you said about our mother, Dr. Francis Chris Webster. Now, we ain't forgot about that. You need to walk that back as well. Huh? Y'all can go find what he said, because I'm not going to even repeat it. But we haven't forgotten what you said. Nah, you might need to walk that back and apologize and have the spirit of contrition. You understand? And come back in the spirit of repentance. And then we can assess and have further delegation and talk about it from there. But yeah, we ain't forgot about that. But overall, on this interview, I give him a B+. Yeah. If he wouldn't have crashed out up at the end right here, he probably would have had an A+ on this, guys. Yeah. But guys, tell me what y'all think about this video. And yeah, another thing. You see these white supremacist females up there? Guys, let me tell you something. Who raised the white supremacist males? See, but your focus be tunnel vision on the white male all the time. You better open up your eyes to the female Shannon Sharp, Jonathan Majors. Huh? Myron Gaines gonna be one of them. Watch what I tell you, because they got a file on him. Watch what I tell you. They have a file on him. There's too many women that done came out and said he done did this, done took this. See, but they was the wrong color. You wait whenever a white woman accuse him of doing something to her, then he's gonna get the nigga treatment. Watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you. And Kanye West, he's probably next. He's gonna get the nigga treatment. Some of y'all just can't stay away from the forbidden fruit. There is nothing wrong with white women per se, but you have to understand the climate you in. You're dealing with these white women, and these white women get you in trouble, especially whenever you got money. And you know they gonna drag you through the media because that is their pastime. That's American pastime. It's like American apple pie. It's like baseball. They want a nigga scrang up and put before the people and lynch. See, you think it's about rope. Nah, it's about the public display. Okay? Guys, but tell me what y'all think about this video. I'm going to come back to you with a part 2 on this. Look out for it. Listen, I'm going to come back through with a part 2 on this, because Jason is going to talk to a caller, and the caller going to have some very interesting things to say. And I think it's worth highlighting, in my humble opinion. Okay, but guys, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Come on back to see Drummer, because you see what I'm doing. I'm over 19,000 getting it out of the mud. Do you understand what it takes to get 19,000 people out of just obscurity? Nobody don't know me, but apparently people rocking with the message. And that's what I want. People to rock with the message. Get the message out there. Each one teach one, all right? Hit the like button. Come on back to see me. Until next time, peace. And remember, there is more.